How many admin topics do we have?
16.
16 topics. So, what are those 16 topics? What are those 16 topics? Like yesterday, we have discussed about the 16 topics. What are those 16 topics? The first one is first one.
Salesforce project in IT company.
Salesforce project, IT company.
Then Salesforce introduction.
Salesforce introduction.
Then Salesforce basic.
Force basics.
Then force.com.
Force.com.
Data modeling.
Data modeling.
Then data security.
Data security.
Email templates.
Email templates.
Queues and public groups.
Queues.
Then reports and dashboards.
Reports and dashboard.
Automation. Flows.
Lightning flows.
Yeah, lightning flows. Then UI customization.
UI customization.
And activity management.
Activity management.
Data management.
MVC architecture.
MVC architecture.
Yeah. Then CRM. Salesforce CRM.
Salesforce here. Now, how many members remember the 16 topics?
Then
Lahari, have you attended yesterday's session?
yes, ma'am.
So is this today is the first day, Lahari?
Yeah, it is first class.
Now, Bharat, you have attended yesterday, right? So do you remember the 16 topics of admin? Now, how can we remember the 16 topics? Like if somebody asks what are the topics will be there in the admin, very high level. The index part of it. How can we remember this? Bharat, have you remember the 16 topics? Naveen, have you remember the 16 topics? So let's say here, if you are if you want to remember the 16 topics, let's say we are going to assign each topic to one member. Okay. So we'll assign one topic to one person. Let's say for a Salesforce project IT company, we'll assign to Sapna. Okay, so anything related to Salesforce project IT company, it should reach out to Sapna. Okay, so she will be taking care of it, everything. If there are any questions related to this Salesforce project IT company, she has to remember. Now, Salesforce introduction. So Salesforce introduction, we'll give it to Ravikant. So Ravikant has to remember the Salesforce introduction. What are the Salesforce introduction? When it is started, everything Ravikant has to be taken care. And next topic is Salesforce CRM. Salesforce CRM, let's give it to Irfan. Irfan has to remember the Salesforce CRM. Salesforce basics, Pritesh. Pritesh has to remember the Salesforce basics. And then we have a Priyanka. Priyanka is sports.com. And then data modeling. So data modeling is Om. So remember the data modeling assigned to Om. And then data security. So data security, let's give to Naveen. Naveen has to remember the data security. And then email template, Niger. And queues. Queues has to be Lahari. Lahari has to remember the queues. Now reports and dashboard. Reports and dashboard, Krishna. And automation. Automation, Gautam. Lightning flows. Lightning flows is Divakar. And UI customization. UI customization, Bhanu. Bhanu has to remember the UI customization. Now, activity management, Anwar. Data management. Data management. Srinu is data management. And next, MVC architecture. MVC architecture is Sudhir. Now you have to remember whoever is attending for this class. So your person name and that person name and what is the topic. Right, so Sapna will be Salesforce project IT company, Ravikant Salesforce introduction, Pritesh Salesforce basics, Priyanka Ports.com, Om data modeling, Naveen data security, Nadia email templates. Now Lahari queues. Krishna has to remember reports and dashboard. Gautam automation. Divakar lightning flows. Bhanu UI customization. Anwar activity management. Srinu data management. Sudhir MVC architecture and Irfan Salesforce CR. Now, will you guys able to remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So all 16 topics, whenever I ask next time, or anybody from institute or anybody from outside, you should remember at least remember your friend's name. So based on your friend's name, so you will remember the topic. So now, what is like yesterday we had a little bit discussion about the Salesforce project IT company. Now, where it is going to be used, Sapna, how we will be using the Salesforce project IT company? Or
Ma'am.
This is the now. One more requirement. What
yes, where we will be using, how we will be using this Salesforce project IT company? What did we discuss yesterday?
Yesterday you gave example of an HDFC bank and a company. Hello.
What are the activities we will be doing in the project IT company?
It will be daily base. It will be daily Salesforce tasks, ma'am. Daily activities. What we did, then what we did yesterday. Then what will be the task we'll be doing today? Yesterday what we did. Everything it will be discussed in this IT projects now. Salesforce project.
Right. So whenever the project is running, yesterday we have discussed how these projects will be running, what are the activities we will be doing it. Right. So for example, we have received a bank application.
Yeah.
Right. So bank application, there is a project is running. So project is started from, let's assume that January 2023. It started in January 2023, or else let's take it. It started in the December. So in December 2023, it is started. So from this project is going to run till April 2024. This project is going to run for till April 2024. So in between these two, in between this, like what are the timeline is there? In this timeline, what are the activities we will be doing it? Those all activities, developer, admin, everybody, like a daily stand-up and sprint activities, everything we will be doing it as part of this project, right? So yesterday we have discussed. Now, coming back to the Salesforce CRM. Now, what did we discuss about the Salesforce CRM? What is Salesforce CRM?
Salesforce CRM is a customer relationship management which improves business management with the potential customers.
So Salesforce CRM is customer relationship management, which can handle the complete application.
All the customer details.
Yes, it handles the customer data. It stores the customer data. By using the CRM, we can implement any application, right? So yesterday we have taken the bank application. Any example for the other applications?
Finance sector.
Sorry? What was that, Pritesh? Which application?
Finance, insurance sectors also, no?
Yes, insurance related application. And what else? What else applications we
Medical.
have? Medical.
Medical.
Yeah.
Even HR attendance portal, HR attendance application.
HR portal, which contains the attendance, leave balance, and holidays, everything will contain here. HR portal. That's good. Any other applications you can think of?
Recruitment, ma'am.
A recruitment application. Right, so we have so many applications. This is just a few applications. Like we have a vehicle related application, right? Any vehicle, but we have a different vehicles, BMW, one application, Skoda one application, Volkswagen one application, and medical related, and also the cosmetic application, right? Even for trial head, Dreamforce, we have to implement a certain application for the Dreamforce. So these are all different kind of application. So for all of them, Salesforce is going to support. Whether you take an insurance or whether you take a cosmetic or whether you take a Dreamforce, whatever the application is there, for all kind of a application, Salesforce is going to support, and we can implement any type of a application with the Salesforce. Right, and we can store the customer information. Where is the data will be stored? If we are going to store the data, what is the storage mechanism? Yesterday we have discussed.
Data.
So Salesforce has database.com. So in this database.com, we will be storing all the customer information, right? And even the product information, whatever the data is there, all the data will be stored in database. So in Salesforce Basics, what did we discuss in Salesforce Basic yesterday? Pritesh?
In Salesforce Basic, we will go through from there are some functional concepts and basic associated with Salesforce. It's like CRM, customer relationship management, objects and records. After that, leads, contacts, opportunities, accounts, and workflow rules, reports and dashboards, Apex and Visual Force, uh, and customization and configurations also, which will contain custom fields, objects, page layouts, record types, right? Security models. And we can also learn basics of Salesforce from Trailhead by practicing it.
So in Salesforce Basics, so basically we will talk about how the storage mechanism is there. And if I have to start implementing an application, what kind of a Salesforce is suitable? Like we have a different type of Salesforce editions, right? So we have a different type of editions are there. So which type of a edition I can take if I have to implement a bank application or cosmetic application or Reliance application, some application if I want to implement, what are the different type of editions, which Salesforce application is suitable, which Salesforce edition is suitable for this application, what kind of a license is required in order to start this, right? So we will be talking about the storage editions, and Salesforce is also doing the releases. Every quarter they are doing the releases. So we will understand what are the different releases we have, and where can a developer identify what are the releases we have and what is the features that are released in this current release, and what did we modify, what is the Salesforce has modified the existing, anything they have modified, or did they change any governor limits. So we will also talk about the governor limits. This is in the Salesforce basics, right? So next, force.com. So force.com, what did we discuss?
Environments and sandboxes.
Force.com, we can build, design, and deploy custom applications by own hand.
Right. So for example, here we are implementing the application, bank application, and we have identified the edition. Let's assume in order to implement this, we are going with the developer edition. Right. With the developer edition, we will have a less license, but that's okay because this is a small application where only 2 users will be there, 2 admin users will be there. So we can implement this application within the developer edition. So when we have implemented the developer edition, and if we have to do some customization, right? So at the back end, I need to implement a certain logic or a business logic I need to implement. If I have to implement a business logic, so where we will be implementing the business logic? Business logic will be, we have to open the force.com. So in the Salesforce, we have a force.com. Now at the back end, whatever the code we are writing, whatever the business logic we are writing, everything is linked to the force.com. Now in this force.com, we will also talk about, for example, if we are implementing a business logic. So the developer will be implementing a business logic in the sandbox. Right? So if they implement it here, they have to push these changes to the client application. Right? So we will see how we can push it, like whatever the developer has implemented the logic in force.com in the developer edition. So from here, if we have to push it to the client application, how can we push it? So this part we will see in the force.com. Now, next thing is the main one, which is a data modeling. Now, what did we discuss yesterday? Data modeling.
Fields, objects, applications, tabs, anything else? Formula fields, validations, relationship, roll-up summary. Anything else left? No.
Duplicate rules.
Duplicate rules.
What are these types of rules?
Next one is field tracking.
Agree.
Right. Now
Good.
here, why do we use in Salesforce? Like when we are implementing an application, right? So at the back end, we know that the data will be stored in the database. But in the database.com, there has to be a specific container to hold a specific information. Now this is database.com. Right, this is the database.com. In this database.com, every container should hold certain information. Now let's say here, this one is holding the account information, which is a person, client information, person details. And the other one is holding the product information. And the other container is holding the transaction information. And next one is holding the credit card bill. And the other information which is holding up maybe the loan information. So we have a different. So in this data table, every container is holding the specific information. So this is the person information, and this is the bank details information, like a card information. and this is the product information, or let's say here different, they have some product information, and this is holding up the transaction information, and this is holding up the loan information. So that means every container is a specific data it can hold. I cannot hold the all the data in one place, right? It is so difficult if we want to analyze it. It is so difficult. If I divide the data, person details in one container, card details in one container, product details in one container, loan details in one container, it is easy for us to, tomorrow if I want to retrieve it, for example, tomorrow I want, this person wants to, one person is there, so one person wants to understand how much is the loan amount is pending. So what this bank developer or a bank person, what they will do, they will just go to this particular container because they are just interested on the loan. So we will be storing the loan information in this container. So this is different tables we have in the database. So each table or each container is nothing but we call it in Salesforce object. So this is person object, card details object, product object, loan object, transaction object. So right, so we call it as a object. And in this container, again the data will be stored in the rows and columns. The data will be stored in the rows and columns. So that means here in one column I have a person name, and here date of birth, here address information, then again mobile information. So whatever the each column, each cell is containing, which is called as a field, which is called field. So here I can store only in this column, I can store only the person information. In this column, I can store only the date of birth information. In this column, I can store only the address information. Right. So each column is nothing but it's called in Salesforce terminology, we call it as a fields. So whatever the entire Salesforce functionality, whether you do the admin, development, LWC, whatever you do. So if you want to bring the data from database to the application, you have to talk to the object and the fields. So that means which object, which field you want to retrieve it in order to display the data on the application. So that's how we will be talking to even developer, LWC or admin team, or if BA wants to run some query, it is always linked to the object and fields. Most of the times we will be dealing with objects and fields because to store the data, I need to know the which object. To retrieve the data, I need to know which object, what is the field, and what type of information we are storing it, and what type of information we are retrieving it, and what is the data that we are updating it. Everything is dealt with object and fields. So applications, like if we want to, once we are done with implementing all this logic and everything, so we have to implement one application. So if they open this application, all the bank related data only should display. So in order to do that, so because in single Salesforce, there are so many applications are there. In Salesforce, we have a different applications we can implement. So if I open the bank application, it should show only the bank related data. If I open the cosmetics application, it should show the data related to the cosmetics. Right, so each application I can open and see the data related to the data. Now, whenever we open, so those are the tab. Tab is nothing but it's kind of like if I have a application. Now, let's assume that I have a application here. Now, when we have a application, now it shows here certain information now. Maybe you have opened some application. So when you want to open some application, do you want to, let's say Facebook. So if you want to open this, if you want to view the history, you can view the history. Or if you want to add the story, you click on it here. and then add a story here. And if you want to retrieve the data, you can retrieve. So we have a different tabs. Like based on the click, it will open that particular tab. Right? So similarly, when we implement an application, for example, if you implement a bank application, you want to see the data of person details, transaction details, loan details. So what you can do in this application, you can have a different tabs. One is a person details, transaction details, loan details. If I click on this, all the person details will be open. If I click on this transaction tab, it will open all the transaction. If I click on this loan, it will open all the loan details. So based on the click in the application, that data will be visible. Right? And also we have seen the validation rule. So what is the validation rule that we have seen yesterday? What was the example? Validation rules, when we will use it?
ATM transactions.
Ma'am,
For
wherever
the proper execution of the orders.
wherever we want to validate the data before saving it in our database, like while creating a registration page, first name should not contain a number or a special character, or mm, a contact number should not contain alphabets, like that.
Okay.
This one we can say
Priyanka.
that to validate the field, ma'am, right?
Mhm.
Proper field.
Priyanka. Sapna.
Ma'am, it is used to restrict means for entering a wrong data validation rules.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Priyanka.
Ma'am, a validation rule is like if we have to set some limits, like we have to enter 10 character only. This type we can use validation rules.
Okay. So validation rule is basically in order to validate, like for example, I'm trying to log in the bank application. When I try to log in the bank application, we have to enter the username and the password. In case if my username is incorrect, immediately it will throw a message saying that please cross verify your credentials. Maybe the username is incorrect or password is incorrect. So it is going to throw the validation rule, immediately saying that, okay, your data is incorrect. Whatever the data you have entered, it is incorrect. So which happens immediately. Now I enter the data here, username, password. As soon as I click on a submit button or a login button. So when I click on a login button, immediately it is going to show a message at the bottom here. Your credentials are incorrect. So that means it is validating the data that is entered in the each field. If you want to customize that, we will be using the validation. Now, field history tracking. What is the field history tracking? When do we use the field history tracking?
It is basically used like when we want to cross check later on who has modified the data, or of a particular field, or some changes has been made by someone else.
Okay. Others, Amol, Anwar.
Like who changed the field and when they change. If you want to track any fields or any information, you can use the field tracking.
Okay. How about Manoj? What is field tracking history?
I'm new to class.
Okay, so field tracking history is, as it says the keyword here, history. History is nothing but what has been happened, what has happened previously, what is right now. Now, similar to your credit card bill. So in the credit card bill, it will give you the clear information about the date and where is the transaction has happened, where is the transaction is happened, and when it is happened, which is a date, and how much is the transaction has happened. So it will give the exact history information. Same thing in the Salesforce. If you want to track on the specific field, like we have a amount field. Let's say I have a amount field. If we have a amount field, now you wanted to track how this amount, what was the previous amount, what is the current amount, and who the person has changed it. So it will give the information date and who has modified it, when did it modify, and how it modified, and what is the previous value and what is the current value. What is the current value? So these information we can track it. So that what will happen if tomorrow any customer comes asking that okay, my amount is displayed incorrect. Yesterday it was showing the some 70,000, but today it is showing the 50,000. Something has happened. I did not do the transactions. So the person is complaining. So when the person is complaining, so we can cross verify the history and we can give the clear information of that history to the customer saying that, okay, these are the transactions which have happened from this place and from this location. So that transaction has happened. So that's the reason the amount is less. So we can give those in. So data modeling is nothing but everything we are dealing with data in the data modeling. Either I'm creating a data or I'm validating a data or I'm tracking the data or we are checking the duplicate or we are checking the calculation or a formula fields. That means some kind of a formula we are implementing it. Or I'm displaying entire data in the rows and column format in the application based on the tab click. So everything we are dealing with data in the data modeling, which is a very basic, everybody should understand this data modeling. It's a easy one, but it is a important to understand how the data is organized in the Salesforce. Because if you know this, it will be easy for a data loader or going further, anything which we are dealing with the calculation part of the data, it will be easy. Now, once we have the data, now I should be giving you security because if I open somebody's else by entering the bank account number, I'm a customer of a bank. But if I enter incorrect customer number and it open the other customer information, let's say here, my bank account is 123. Now there is a I have entered, I forgot by mistakenly, I have entered my bank account username is 456. I have entered this 456. Actually, mine is 123. So by mistakenly, I have entered the 456. If I enter the 456, it opened the other person information. Let's say Priyanka information. Priyanka's bank account is showing to the, let's say to Ravi. So let's say this is Ravi's account number, this is Priyanka's account number. Now Ravi is forgot the username, so he entered the 456 and it is open the Priyanka's bank account number. How that's very that is called incorrect, like it's not a perfect application, right? I should not be showing that other customer information to the Ravi. Only whatever the Ravi has the bank details, only I should show that information. So that means security is not right. Whatever the application we are using it's the application or the technology which is not providing the security to the application. We are opening up all the data to the every customer, which is not right. So that's the reason security part came into the Salesforce. Now, what did we discuss on the data security? What are the different level of security we have in Salesforce?
Organization level security,
Mhm.
then field level security, and record level security.
Okay.
Object level.
Object level. And
Profiles and permissions.
sorry, can you repeat that?
Profile.
Profiles and permissions.
Profile permissions,
User level.
profile permissions user. And these all related to the license that is available. The security is very in Salesforce, security part is a very key and it is an important topic because every level we are restricting it from the beginning to the user. Whenever we are creating a user, from the creation of user to till whatever the data that this user can access. Right, so we have a different levels we have in the security part. So we will be covering all those security part of it. How can we implement? Now, if I have a restriction of these in the data, now in case if I want to show only one record to another person, because that is a urgent, somebody has to take care of on behalf of my absence. Now, how can I share the specific record to the other admin team? So how can we do that? So these all we will see in the data security. Now till this point, any questions? Now relationship we will see further and then roll up summary we will see going further because relationship roll up summary combination. So we will see that going further. Any questions till this point, whatever we have seen the till 6.
Hello, Sapna. Could you please give an example related to duplicate rules?
Duplicate rules we will be covering it. So I'll be talking about the duplicate rules. Priyanka, have you submitted the form? I cannot see. Irfan, have you submitted?
Ma'am, actually, I joined November batch, so I have submitted my information to that batch, and that ma'am provided me access for drive also. So, do I need to submit again for this batch?
No, that's okay. If you have already submitted, that's okay.
For this batch, you have to submit again.
Oh, okay. So you guys have to submit this again.
Swapna, can you open that form in
Okay.
your system and check who has filled and who has not?
So again, you guys have to submit it. Okay, have you submitted?
Ma'am, I do have submitted. Can you please check my mail ID? Irfan.sheikh will be there. I
So I'll ping you this again one more time. The
Sure,
sheet.
ma'am. I'll do it again.
So Please fill this form again. It is specific to this batch. Because we have multiple batches are going on, so this is specific to this batch. Akshay, I could not see yours, Akshay. Anwar, have you filled it?
Yes, madam.
I could not see yours.
D Anwar Basha, @gmail.com.
Sorry?
D Anwar Basha @99@gmail.com. Let me try again.
Gautam, have you filled it?
Yes, ma'am. I have filled it. Gautam Kaveti. Gautam Kaveti 1.
Yeah.
We are total 25 members, but received only 20. Still, 5 members did not fill.
Krishna, have you filled it?
Yeah, it's the name Murli.
Okay.
Yeah, Alice Wheels for Murli.
23.
Yes, we will be talking about profile permission set when we do the actual training, because right now nobody will understand if I explain it also. So we will have a step by step, we will go and we will talk about each one of them clearly. And regarding the projects in developer edition, we can do at least 2 projects. Mini projects we can do in the developer edition. Have you filled it?
We have received 24.
Manoj? Did you fill the form, Manoj? The steps here is first we will learn about the subject. Okay, once we are learning, we have a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, right? If we have not attended the previous session, we can go through the previous session. So level 1 is a basic, the subject we will be learning each topic, what is it, why it is, how we are doing it. Level 2, we will see the scenarios. And then level 3, we have a projects. Once you are done with all the projects, but once you have also implemented, like we will be giving the project, you have to implement that project. One project I'll explain it, another project is for the assignment. Once you are done with the assignment, we will go for a mock interviews. So that's about the 4 levels of the training. So 25 is the count, some few members did not fill it. Ravikant, have you filled it? Okay. Ravish, Tejesh, Tejeshwar, Ravish, Tejasvi. Have you guys filled it? Tejashvi? Tavish? Are you guys able to hear me, Tavish? Tejashvi? Ali?
Yes, ma'am, I filled the form.
Okay. What's the name you have given?
Mohammed Tabish, the second one.
Okay. Okay. Tejashvi? Ali? Jason Ali?
Yes, ma'am. I've given my name, ma'am. I filled the form.
Okay. What's the name you have given?
Just Zishan 0906.
Okay.
We have received forms from you people. Your name is there in this list or not? Please check. If your name is not there in the list, you have to fill the form. Can you check names? If your name is not there in the list, please fill the form.